Hi, welcome to FiguringStuffOut.net. I am not a flight instructor, but as an instrument-rated pilot, I want to talk about how I keep organized when I get a takeoff clearance. Clearances are complicated is because you're hearing about things in a different order than you experience them. This is our airport taxi environment. This is what we call the local environment, which is what the tower is in charge of, a couple of miles away from the airport. This is the departure arrival area, which is what departure is in charge of.
Chronologically,
First, we taxi, then we take off and deal with the local area, and then we get handed off to departure and have to deal with the outer area.
but we get our clearances for these in a completely different order.
First, hear about our route as we're going out. Then we talk to the ground controller and talk about our taxi. And last, we hear about what we're doing as we take off.
Here's how I organize my information.
Who I'm talking to, the horizontal information that they're giving me, vertical information, miscellaneous column. The first phase is going to be the ground controller. This is going to be all of my taxi instructions. There's no vertical information. I'll be talking to ground in the first phase, tower in the second phase, departure in the third phase. We'll get our ATIS, and then we will call for our clearance. Clearance limit, important for IFR. Route.
Initial altitude right after takeoff and an expected later altitude. Departure frequency.
Be a squawk code.
Now transfer our clearance onto our information sheet and into our instruments.
The route of flight first, that's the R in craft. This is what I act on horizontally in the departure phase.
Initial altitude we will use right after takeoff, and later altitude to be used during the departure phase. Departure frequency. Note the squawk code and put it in the transponder.
Ground control frequency in the airport publication. Ground control will give me horizontal instructions for moving around the airport. They will tell me a runway to end up at. Runway 5 right, taxi via Alpha. So that's my ground horizontal information
that I use to taxi to the runway.
When I pull up to the runway, I know the tower frequency because I can look that up. I will put that into my radio.
But before switching away from ground frequency to tower frequency, there is one very important final check that I need to make. I need to look at my taxi instructions, check the runway number, and make sure that I am where I'm supposed to be. With that checked, I toggle the radio over to the tower frequency, put the departure frequency into the standby. Check the squawk is in the transponder.
Initial altitude in an autopilot, or if it's bugged in some way.
Tower 704 Golf Charlie, ready to go, 5 right. They might not call me back at all right away. If they tell me to hold short, I will read that back. If it's a takeoff clearance, it will begin with my call sign, and then it will have 3 pieces of information in it. The takeoff clearance will start with the one piece of information I don't already have, the horizontal direction to fly right after I take off. So it will be runway heading, or turn on course, or a 3-digit heading. So I circle runway heading, or circle turn on course, or write down the 3-digit heading they give me. Listen for the runway they mention and make sure that's the one that I just taxied to and that I'm at. And listen for and verify cleared for takeoff. So a takeoff clearance that I might get on the left is what's being spoken, on the right is what I'm actually writing down in the moment. November 704 Golf Charlie, right turn 090, runway 05 right, cleared for takeoff. And then I read it back. Right turn 090, cleared for takeoff, 05 right, 704 Golf Charlie.
The best thing you can do to get proficient at taking clearances and being on the radio is listening to liveatc.net. Listen to air traffic control as much as you can. Stay safe, stay current, and never stop figuring stuff out.